What is going on, all you minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for an advanced look at the Dr. Aphra Omnibus from Marvel Comics. Let's do this thing! Okay, before getting started, a huge thank you to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending us an advanced copy of this omnibus. This omnibus is due out in the direct market on March 10th, and then a couple of weeks later in the book market. Now, what we're looking at here is the direct market variant. To your left, that is your standard edition variant. Now, here's the thing. Even the spines are different. Where you see a picture of Aphra down there is different than the picture in the spine of the Aphra standard edition. So, they've been doing that for a little while, but I did want to show that off. And, again, the cover, those are different. Now, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this book. So, here we have the first Dr. Aphra Omnibus, and I say first, I'm hoping for more, but see, I see a number 1, and I get all kinds of excited for possible future releases. So here is an image from Kamone Shirahama, I think that's who did the covers for the original 6-issue series, the first 6 issues. This book retails for $125. You have Kev Walker's artwork here, and I want to say that is maybe Ashley Witter, that cover right there from the direct market. But let's look at that again. Everybody loves a rogue, and that's what she is. I'll explain a little bit about the story, what makes her one of the best characters. Alright, let's look at it under the dust jacket. Alright, so in the front here under the dust jacket, we have the image from Kamone Shirahama. And on the back, I know that this one for a fact is Ashley Witter, because this is the issue cover to number 40. So we have Dr. Aphra in the foreground, we have Vulada in the background, we have Magna Tolgan in the background as well. The number 1 down there, Dr. Aphra, a white spine for under the dust jacket. And then back here we have this awesome image of Dr. Aphra, and in the back we have her droids. This is 000 and BT-1, and then of course one of the greatest Wookiees ever that's not Chewbacca, Black Krrsantan. So let's look inside of this omnibus. Now, I mentioned this being Dr. Aphra's first omnibus, and that is true. However, it's not the first time she's been collected in oversized hardcover format. We've had a 1-volume oversized hardcover of Dr. Aphra. This collects the first 8 issues, as well as the Screaming Citadel crossover. So that's the only one we got, and then we got an omnibus. The rest of it has been collected in trade paperback format in the past. So let's go ahead and look in here, and I'll be talking about the build of the book a little bit later. But let's talk about the content and then the story of Dr. Aphra without giving any spoilers. So here we have all the contents that are collected within the pages of this omnibus. And it's quite a lot, honestly. So kicking it off with Darth Vader number 3, which is her first appearance. We are introduced to her character. I love these little synopses here. But this collects the entire Dr. Aphra from 2016 series that went all the way to 2019. All 40 issues. All 3 of the annuals from that era. Darth Vader 3 and 4. 8, number 21 and 25. Star Wars, this is the 2015 and the Darth Vader 2015 series. But Star Wars 13, 19, 31, and 32. The Screaming Citadel one-shot. And then materials from Star Wars Empire Ascendant number 1, which came out in 2020. So, within the very first 3 issues of Darth Vader, we meet one of the most unique and probably, for a lot of us, a breath of fresh air characters from the Star Wars universe, and that is Dr. Aphra. Now, when I say Dr. Aphra, a lot of people probably think, oh, like Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Maybe not a lot of you all. Maybe just some of us that watched that show, whoever they were. Anyway, but she's not that type of doctor. She's more of Dr. Indiana Jones. Dr. Jones kind of doctor. She's an archaeologist, and she considers herself a rogue archaeologist. So, the beauty of Chelly Lona Aphra is that she's neither good nor bad. She's one of these characters that's on the gray side of things. She's not part of the rebellion. She's not part of the resistance. She's not part of the empire. She doesn't play by anybody's rules but her own. Her main goal in life is to acquire money and pay some debts off. That's what it is. Somehow, within the first appearance of her character, she is immediately tied to Darth Vader. Darth Vader has this scheme of behind the Emperor's back that he wants to build his own army. And he's going to need the help of Aphra to get that done. So the important thing to note about this entire series, this omnibus right here, is that all of this, every single page in here, takes place between Star Wars A New Hope and Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. All of the stories in here, all the characters that show up here, take place between those two movies. So the very first task is for Darth Vader to find out. This ties heavily into his Darth Vader ongoing series by Kieran Gillen, also writing the beginning of this. But it's him trying to find out who this lone rebellion soldier was that blew up the Death Star. And he also has an understanding that Emperor Palpatine wants to build his own army and wants to replace him eventually. So he wants to go ahead and be 1 or 2 steps ahead of the game. Now, this is where we first meet these two characters right here, these Star Wars droids. Now, they are not anything like C-3PO and R2-D2. This is 000 and BT-1, or Trip-O, or Trip, and BT. Now, they're a lot different than C-3PO and R2-D2 because they're homicidal maniacs. They love killing and torturing people. Yet they have a weird comic relief about them. And then we also meet the character of Black Chrysanthemum, and she has a debt to pay him back to help him find the people that tortured him. So each character is unique in their own way. And here we have, spinning off of this Darth Vader era, and she also meets characters like Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. Princess Leia has ties to Han Solo, but I don't want to spoil how she does that. It's actually pretty cool. And then we get her own ongoing series. Now, the very beginning, most of that stuff was, of course, drawn by Salvador La Roca. On her own, I love this, by the way. On her own ongoing series, it's mainly drawn by Kev Walker. And I've been a huge fan of Kev Walker ever since his days of Thunderbolts. He did some Agents of Atlas stuff. He did some Avengers Arena artwork. And I know some people probably take a little bit to get used to his artwork, but I think he is phenomenal. He is the perfect fit for a story much like this. And it reminds me a lot of European comics. And I think he is a 2000 AD artist. So please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. This is the one shot, and let's keep going. Oh, by the way, something that they do within the pages here is they put a lot of the variants on the opposite side of the regular covers. So you won't find them all in the back. Sometimes they're in between the chapters. For example, this is the story so far, everything that's happened to her life and how she got to where she is. I love that cover, especially if you've read it. So here she is, an archaeologist in the world of Star Wars. Neither good nor bad. She has a lot of morals that you may question. She's not like Han Solo. She shoots first for sure. And she has killed people to get what she needs. There's Luke Skywalker. Oh, this is the Marco Cicchetto? Is this the Screaming Citadel story arc, I think? No, this isn't Cicchetto, but he kicks off the one-shot. I had to go back to find it because Cicchetto's artwork just deserves to be looked at, especially when it's in oversized format. Absolutely stunning. This is a crossover with Star Wars and with Dr. Aphra and Darth Vader. Now, wow. I kind of wish he had drawn a lot more of this. But let's go back to Dr. Aphra. Hey, nothing wrong with Kev Walker, though. I'm a big fan of his artwork. So, this is a big omnibus. I'm not kidding. This collects all 40 issues plus the annuals. I mean, this thing is thicker than a Snicker. And you all know I like my omnis like I like my women. Thick. Let's go back here. I am not kidding. This is to date, the thickest Star Wars omnibus. It is 1,240 pages. Now, Kieran Gillen writes up until issue 19, and Cy Spurrier actually co-writes some of those later issues, the last story arc with him, and then Cy Spurrier eventually takes over the book. So, I've talked a lot about her, but what makes this book work, this series work for me, is just everything about it. Not just her. Sure, she's quirky and goofy and she might kill you, and she's also a badass when it comes to expeditions and finding things. But it's just tying it all the way to the Old Republic, long before she was born, because she is an archaeologist, so she's finding all these relics, and she has issues with her family, with her father, because of things that happened to her mom. She has trust issues. She has ties to Star Wars characters that have been shown in other books. There's a lot of Easter eggs in here that I don't want to spoil for anybody, but it's wonderful. And then on top of that, Darth Vader can't stand her. He is after her. And the Darth Vader book is a little bit different because it's dark, right? But then there's some comical tones about it. This is the same, it's the same way, but with a different twist, where you don't have a main protagonist that's evil and just always broody. It's balanced out by these homicidal droids, and then all the dark things that are happening around her. The beauty of this book is that anything goes. Because when we have a book like Star Wars by Jason Aaron, or even Kieran Gillen's Darth Vader, the stakes are kind of low because we know those books take place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. We know those characters at the end of the day are going to make it out alive. We don't know about any of these characters. We don't know who makes it, who has a happy ending, who will appear in the next series that takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, or who will make it out of that. That's what I love about this, that you never know how high the stakes are and what will happen to these characters. Now, of course, I've really enjoyed it. By the way, this video was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago. I was just going to do a plain overview, but I just got hooked. This is a page turner to me. I reread I had only read like the first 12, maybe 20 issues or so. And I really thought that Kelly Thompson was the one that took over the run after Kieran Gillen left. I've totally messed that up because it's Cy Spurrier. Now I know. But I couldn't put it down, because I wanted to know what happened next. And yes, even though Kieran Gillen leaves and the tone of the book changes a little bit, it's still the same cast. It's still the same stories. Cy Spurrier does an amazing job capturing her voice and all these, most of the other characters that appear, because some things do change that I was like, I can see why people were upset about that. But for the most part, this was a page turner. I couldn't put it down. And I know I'm not doing a review of the book or the story, it's an overview of the book, so let's go back to that. But that's just my 2 cents really quick for those of you on the fence about this book, because I know when it comes to Star Wars comics, I know there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to go near that, or it's been too long. I'm a big fan of the Dark Horse stuff. This is awesome. I think this is a perfect gateway for somebody to come into these Star Wars books, especially since this is all canon now, because it's part of the Disney Marvel stuff. Okay, let's look in the back for some extras. I think I've gone on long enough about the story and the artist and the writers. All right, so here we have some variant covers. I don't think any of these are any spoilers. I love that. This is the Mike Mayhew. There she is. So this was the variant cover. They were originally going to use issue 25 with the lightsaber as the original cover, but they changed that the last couple months. And character designs. There's BD1. Original page art here without the colors. Alright, let's look at this binding. Okay, so here's this eye. That is a pretty damn big eye for a book that's over 1,200 pages. Now, one of the things that I did notice, and I properly opened this, I haven't seen this happen in a while. I don't know how, let's see if you can even tell, but there's a small crease right here. Not at the top, but down here. And that's usually, I've seen that happen before with my old Omnis. So I hope it's just my copy, and I did do a proper opening. You all know how I am about that stuff. I did notice that. The other thing that I'm sure you probably noticed, maybe not, I can't tell if you can tell on video or not, but let me see if I can. There's some waviness right here. And I've never seen an omnibus do that. There we go. I've only had one other book do that, and that was my Infinity hardcover. And I remember it was like Humidity that did that. I've never had an omnibus do that. But one thing I didn't do was check to see if that was there already. I just noticed it after I got to like issue 30, and I was like, I don't remember if it was there before I opened the book or not. And hopefully that's just my book. But as far as the binding of the book, I think this is one of the best ones. Honestly, I don't know what it is, and I know I showed that small little crease, but I don't think that's what it is, because the spread pages, no matter if it's towards the front or towards the end. Here, let's go back, actually. Here we go. Here's something from the second issue. They lay over nice. There's barely any gutter loss right here. And this is on a book that's 1,240 pages. Let's look in the middle. Here we go. Just easy to follow artwork. And yeah, no loss really in the artwork in the middle here and all the way in the back. I mean, we're looking at the very back of a book that's over 1,200 pages, and I mean, there's nothing really missing there. I don't know. I think for this one, they did a really good job printing it. And it's printed at the same printer, the R. Donnelly printer. And I was trying... Actually, let's go back here, because I did notice something. Yeah, when I was looking at this, again, there might be a little gutter loss there towards the tip of the R, and right here as well. I don't know why. But as far as like the artwork, the spread pages, they look really good. But, yeah, that's it. That, as they say, is that. Now, if you're interested in purchasing this book when it comes out, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and the build of this omnibus. Let me know in the comments down below if you're picking this up, if you've never read Dr. Aphra. If you read it, let me know what you thought of the book. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it not for you? I know there's a lot of people that have fears of dipping their toes into Star Wars comics. I think this is one wonderful way to get people to read Star Wars comics. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We can be found on Redbubble and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel. Thank you again to all our existing patrons. More importantly, all of you, stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.